Ball game.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Me Out to the Ball Game as we try to get you caught up to speed in the world of sports in just a few minutes. So here we go. Last night in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks, they make it a 2-1 series disadvantage, but they're no longer in a winner-take-all mentality for the Suns Wednesday night. It is now going to be 2-1. Phoenix has the lead. Milwaukee will be at home again, trying to even the series. 120-100 winners against the Suns last night as Antetokounmpo went off. Antetokounmpo had 41 points. 41 points to lead the way. Chris Middleton with 18 points. And this series will resume, strangely enough, on Wednesday night, not Tuesday night like normal, because they're not wanting to go up against the Major League Baseball All-Star game head-to-head. So they'll take Wednesday night when they'll have the entire theater to themselves, which makes a lot of sense. And I have to give them kudos because there has been so many times over the last several years where the NBA makes terrible decisions on what time and what days to start their games. This was actually a smart one. You know, normally Wednesday is the day in North American sports. It's usually the one day of the year that you have no sports going on. It's usually the one day of the year because obviously no major sports going on, because obviously the NFL is off, the NHL has ended, the NBA normally has ended, and Major League Baseball takes the extra Wednesday off after the All-Star game to get set for the second half of the season. So this year, and I think it is a smart idea, and I think the NBA really ought to think about doing this again next year. They need to take advantage of the fact that there's nothing on Wednesday night at this time of year. So there you have that. That'll be the next game. Switching from that, as the Suns still lead the series, but now it becomes critical to try to get that W in Milwaukee, because if you lose Wednesday night's game, guess what? You are in a world of trouble. All right, let's go ahead and get into the John Deere Classic. Yesterday, Lucas Glover gets a big win. The first W on the PGA Tour for Lucas Glover in 10 years, as he gets the $1.1 million purse earnings. And on top of that, he is followed up by Ryan Moore and Kevin Na, who tied for second place. You will notice the leaderboard. If you go up and down it, there are not a lot of big names on it. And why is that? Because we're getting ready for the British Open. Don't at me. I know they try to call it the Open now, but I was brought up on calling it the British Open, and it seems flat when you just call it the Open. What Open? Is it the U.S. Open in tennis? Is it the U.S. Open in golf? You just call it the Open. It seems a little flat. There are a lot of opens in the world of golf, and they need to brand that somehow. If you don't want to just call it the British Open because the rest of the Isles get pissed off, then call it the United Kingdom Open, whatever you want to call it. The Worldwide Open. I don't care, but it's got to have some kind of, you got to do something about that. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go ahead and move on from that, as they will get going on Thursday, and already 13 players have pulled out from the Open from COVID and other things. Bubba Watson is the most recent one, said that he had the vaccine, but he doesn't feel fully vaccinated enough to be able to go on a plane with others. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know, because I know that when I got my vaccine, they said I was good to go. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Maybe he did. Maybe he got a placebo shot. I don't know what he's talking about. If you got the vaccine, there's something strange going on there. So anyways, he's not going to play in the Open, and I'm sure we won't miss him that much anyways. All right, you'll have all the best golfers in the world, and away we go. Okay. Obviously Major League Baseball takes a break now. They'll be on their all-star break. Tonight is the home run derby. You have that. We'll get into that here in 1 second. But looking at the standings, because we're sitting here now at the halfway point, okay? And at this halfway point, you're talking about, it really is about 90 games into the season, but for all intents and purposes, most people view this as the actual halfway point, because when you look at about 70 or so games to go, the stretch run, the last 2 months of the season plus, so about 2.5 months of the season, you are about 3 months into the season. You have to look at this as the trading deadline happens in a couple of weeks. So these next 2 weeks, when you hit the ground running on Friday, you're going to be looking around to seeing who's buying and who's selling. So right now we've got the Boston Red Sox 1.5 games in front of the Tampa Bay Rays, and the New York Yankees, who took 2 of 3 from the Astros this weekend, lost in dramatic fashion last night. We'll talk more about that on the catbird seat today. Yankees and Blue Jays 8 games out. White Sox, comfortable 8-game lead in the Central. The Astros, 3.5-game lead in the West in front of the A's. The National League East has gotten a little tighter as the Mets drop another one to the Pirates. They blew a 5-0 lead to lose 6-5. They are 3.5 in front of the Phillies and 4 in front of the Braves, 6 in front of the Nationals. Now, the big news over the weekend was that Ronald Acuna Jr. is out for the season. He tore his ACL trying to make a really awkward and goofy looking play at the wall where he ended up coming down on the really hard turf, and it tore his knee. But it was a really strange effort at the wall. Look, he was trying to make the catch. You can't fault the kid for, but it was just a strange effort. It wasn't. He's normally much more smooth than what you saw there. So it was a strange play, but he is out for the season. Most likely will be ready to roll by next spring, but you just never know. ACL tears usually 8 to 10 months. We are about, give or take, 10 months away from opening day. So we'll see what happens. I would say they're going to take their time with it. And I think, honestly, I think what you'll probably see, knowing how they do in Atlanta, they will most likely see him next around, we'll say May would be my guess. Okay. And if by then, if you got the DH, then maybe you can ease him in a little bit, right? The Central, the Brewers 4 games in front of the Reds. So they've lost a little ground as the Reds went in there and handled them in Milwaukee, winning 3 in a row. It is now a 4-game lead over the Reds. Cubs and Cardinals are still 8 back. Still a lot of baseball to go, but when you have to make up that many games in just 70, it really does make a big difference. Okay. The Giants are holding on. They're playing really good baseball. They've won 4 in a row as they hit the break. The Giants, 2 games in front of the Dodgers and 6 in front of the Padres. Still, if it all ends today, the Padres are in the playoffs via the wild card. So your other divisions in the National League are essentially looking to win the division, or most likely they will not make it. As far as the American League, if it were to end today, Tampa and Oakland would get the wild cards. All right. Home run derby, said we're going to get into it. And here's a real quick look at the bracket as I pull it up. Juan Soto is in the mix. He is going to be going up against Shohei Ohtani in the first round. Joey Gallo versus Trevor Story, Matt Olson and Trey Mancini of Baltimore, And then you got Salvador Perez, a little bit of a shock because you don't think of Salvador Perez being a home run derby guy. Salvador Perez will be going up against Pete Alonso. So there you have that. That'll take place in Coors Field. A lot of people will not be watching it. It'll be interesting to see what the actual numbers are when we get to the end, because when it's all said and done, there are people that are still upset about the fact that they never should have taken this out of Atlanta. There was no reason for it. It was a political move by Robert Manfred, one of yet another terrible decision by Manfred. He's just he's an embarrassment. And then you look at the other thing that came out over the weekend. He's talking about getting rid of the 7-inning doubleheader. Now, of all the things that they've implemented, getting rid of the 7-inning doubleheader. We'll talk more about this on the big show today. Wake up, y'all. But there's only one reason why they're doing this, and it's money. Always follow the money. Why are they doing this? Because with 7-inning doubleheaders, the owners feel like they can't charge you extra ticket price for that second game. So they take the 2 7s and they slam them together. You get 14 innings, you get the tickets for the price of one. This is the owners trying to recoup their losses. And it could just be a bargaining chip. But what's going to happen here is they're going to set it up where if you get a doubleheader, long story short, the first game will start at 3 and the second game will start at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And that way they'll clear the stadium out and then they'll ask you for a new ticket to get in. Stupid. You don't have that many doubleheaders as it is. And when you get them, you don't schedule these. These just happen because of all the rain that happens in the world, in the world of baseball. Dumb ass move by Manfred once again. Terrible. He's an embarrassment to Major League Baseball. Of all the Major League Baseball commissioners, he is the worst, and it's not even close. It's not even close. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on Take Me Out to the Ball Game as we'll get you set for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game for those of y'all that are going to watch it. And then we've also got some other things in store. We'll see you tomorrow. Take me out to the ball